I'm Rendan, and this is Spiral from the Book of Saw.
This package just came in.
Get everybody out of here.
Spiral is a new film from Darren Lynn Bousman, the director of Saw 2, 3, and 4. He is back. It's a film that I was kind of excited for because I like the Saw movies. The Saw movies are not good, but they're kind of fun. I actually rewatched all the Saw movies and developed a new Saw curve to grade these movies on because most of them are so bad that the only way to really give them a fair rating is to rate them against each other. So I developed a rating where I rate the traps, the twist, the morality, and the overall quality out of 10 and divide that by 4, and we get a final score. And if you want to see where I rank Spiral amongst the other Saw movies, I'll be talking about the other Saw movies after my Spiral review, so you can stick to the end for that. But Spiral.
Hello, Detective Banks. Do you know where your officers are?
It's a buddy cop movie. Unfortunately, the biggest downside to this movie is the buddy cop part. You don't get a good sense of who either of these people are, really, and they don't develop a relationship or a bond of any kind, and that actually kind of ruins the ending of this, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's a movie that's very confused. It's hard to really pin down what this is without spoiling it, so of course I'm going to spoil it. Mainly, the movie is about a bunch of cops that are getting killed in Jigsaw-esque traps. There are a bunch of traps and a bunch of cops that get killed, and people are wondering how this is happening or who's doing this. And turns out it's Chris Rock's new partner, which is the most see-through twist ever. All of these movies have a twist, obviously, so I was looking for it throughout this movie. I was wondering who it was, if they were working with Jigsaw, if Jigsaw was going to have some convoluted way of coming back in this. Fortunately, that's not the case, but it is his partner, and that was pretty obvious from the get-go, because there just isn't that many scenes with him. He even disappears halfway through the movie, which is a big red flag. They pretend like he's dead. They say, oh, it was him because you saw his tattoo on his arm and they cut the skin off his arm, right? And I immediately went, no, okay, no. He's not dead. He faked it and it's him, and it was. It's a pretty clear and see-through twist. It's really obvious. And the problem go deeper than this too. The biggest draw of Saw is the violence and the traps. I know it's weird to say that the biggest draw of a movie is the gore or the torture porn, as this is known for, but it is. And unfortunately, it doesn't give you much of that. Even Jigsaw, which wasn't a very good movie, gave you more than this does. And the traps that it has are so lame that they're just not even worth really talking about. The first one, a guy's tongue is stuck in a trap and he has to rip it out or get hit by a train. It's pretty uncreative, it's just kind of lame. And then there's another one where a guy's stuck in a tub and his fingers are gonna get ripped off, or he'll get electrocuted, but that one, I don't know why he couldn't just stand up. There's a lot of slack from the finger trap. He could just stand up and get out of the tub. Okay, that's a lame trap. There's a couple others, but they're just so uncreative. They're just so lame. I mean, Saw series is not good, but if you look through all of them, they at least have one or two very creative traps that work really well. Saw 6 in particular is filled with them. This one can't even get one right. So if you're a Saw fan going into this for that, you don't get that.
Wait, I thought the Jigsaw Killer was dead.
He is.
And if you're a fan of movies going into this, the story is so cliched and lame, and the characters don't get fleshed out enough to be that interesting either. So you have this cliche drama, cop buddy drama, and it doesn't develop into anything. And halfway through the movie, one of the buddies of the buddy cops just goes missing, and it turns out to be him. Wouldn't it have been like way better if you actually developed a bond between the two, and then turns out that was him? In the end, oh, my partner is the killer. I actually liked him. Oh, wouldn't that be like satisfying and shocking? No, it's not, because he's barely in it. You need more. You need more fleshing out of these two, and then you don't get it. And then I thought maybe it'll be kind of a buddy cop with Samuel L. Jackson, father reconnecting with his son type of thing, which is also cliche, but didn't get that either. Samuel L. Jackson is, I think, in 3 scenes. Like, he is barely in this at all. So the majority of the movie is just Chris Rock wandering around. He follows some leads, but more times than not, the Jigsaw copycat, his partner, is just leading him exactly where he needs to be. So there's barely any intrigue, there's barely any mystery. The only mystery is who's behind it, and that's painfully obvious. So this movie doesn't have a lot going for it, really. I can say that Darren Lynn Bousman's direction's gotten better since Saw 2, but it's not the best. It's fine. A lot of this is just passable. Chris Rock is passable. Samuel L. Jackson is passable. And the story itself, this cliched buddy cop drama, is passable. And then this social satire about corrupt cops and the Jigsaw killer's wearing a pig mask because cops are pigs. That's, yeah, I get it. It's fine. It works, I guess, but it doesn't really leave you with anything to dwell on either. There's no clear message. It's just kind of a confused mess. I would probably give it a 3 out of 10. I don't like it, really. And when it ended, it was so unsatisfying and anticlimactic. No one in the theater even reacted. Everyone just kind of got up and left. It felt like no one connected with it in any way, and the climax just happens and then the movie immediately ends. I don't know if it's trying to sequel bait, but it didn't work. So, 3 out of 10, but if we're judging this on the Saw curve, then let's rate it on traps, morality, twist, and overall rating, which is a 3. I just gave it. So let's talk about the morality. The morality isn't here at all. Usually in a Saw movie, everyone competing in the games or the traps, there's some morality lesson to be learned. They can either do this thing that will disfigure them, or they can get killed, and through disfiguring themselves, they learn that what they did is wrong. And here the morality is cops are corrupt, but that is on every single trap. That's it. That's the only thing, only morality lesson that you learn throughout the movie is that cops are corrupt, cops are corrupt, cops are corrupt, except Chris Rock. He's not. He's a good guy. But everyone else is corrupt. So morality, I'd give it a 3. 3 out of 10. There's not much. It's not that interesting. The twist, again, paper thin, doesn't really work, and it's not satisfying at all, and the story, it doesn't help much. So I'll give that a 3 too, maybe a 2. I'll give it a 3, I feel generous. And then finally the traps, which again I said are just uncreative and kind of lame. There are a handful of them, which is good, so I'll give it a 4. It's below average, but you need to do a little bit more. So that gives us a final score of 13, which divided by 4 is 3.25. So even on the Saw curve, the rating only gets a minor bump to 3.2. So from here, let's talk about the other Saw movies, starting with the one that started it all, the James Wan Saw.